No contact from your ex's point of view. This is the video of today. I wanted to do this video because by definition, no contact, you have no news and you don't know what's going on with your ex. You don't know what they're up to. You don't know what they're thinking. And this is what we're going to discuss in this video. I know no contact is scary because it's about letting go. It's about being okay with the uncertainty, being okay with not knowing what your ex is doing. Perhaps you have this fear that your ex might forget you or move on. It's more complex than that, obviously, and I'll explain exactly what's going on in your ex's mind after the jingle.
IGetMyExBack.com. Everyone deserves a second chance.
First thing is you have to understand that a breakup is the outcome of a long process. It's very rare that you wake up one morning and decide, I'm going to break up with my partner. It doesn't work like this. And so, most likely, your ex told you about their concern throughout the relationship, especially towards the end. If you're, again, realistic about the situation, if you look at things critically, you'll see that you could notice that you guys were drifting apart. And things could have been different. Things have been different, from the point where you met or when you got married. The peak of the relationship, perhaps when you guys said, perhaps yes, at church at the town hall, when if people ask you how did you find your wedding, you would say that was the best day of my life. To this point, up to the point of when they decided to end things, of course things were different. Your ex loved you. Again, I'm making videos for people who are madly in love, who had something special. So your ex loves you, and I'm not, these assumptions, you need to test that. You need to really be sure that this content is relevant for you. Your ex loved you, but felt that they would be better breaking up with you. And it's always a difficult decision. It's always stressful conversation, even if you're a good communicator. You don't want to do that, but you have this feeling that you will be better off breaking things up with your partner. This is why it's very important to leave a positive last impression. The same way you want to leave a good first impression, last impression is extremely important. What you're doing, the idea, if you haven't really started no contact, or if you think that you left things in the wrong way, perhaps it's good just to initiate contact to let them the following things. The idea, and I say that to my clients, what I do is I plant seeds in their ex's mind. And with time, like any plant, things will grow, they will reflect and digest the information. And because you're not around, they will do that work on their own, and it's even more powerful. And this is the message they need to understand. I respect your decision. You can respect the decision and disagree. Don't get me wrong. I'm mature, I'm strong, the way I react, the way I talk to you, I'm listening to you, right? Rather than I'm confronting you, I'm not listening to what you have to say and, buying you a gift or telling you that I'm going to change. This is not what they want to hear. They want to hear as well, we need space. You take a little bit ownership of this, no contact. They wanted to break up and you say, okay, I understand that we need space. So you need space too. I need space too. More than I need you away from my life. And you accept like, yeah, sure. You sort of take this into account. And say that they have to understand that this space, this no contact phase, this phase of this break, let's have a break. Sometimes people refer a breakup as let's have a break. And usually when they say that, it's just a question of let's address things in our lives, from their life, from your life. This is why I have the best job in the world, because I help people to discover what they really want in life. I help them really addressing the things that potentially they put on hold or they decided consciously or unconsciously not to deal with. I've been in your shoes. And I went through therapy to help myself be more secure, to understand how to communicate better with my spouse. And I'm still working every single day to become a better partner. I'm not perfect. only my mom thinks I'm perfect, but that's another story. The first day of no contact, you need to readjust to this new normal, okay? It's gonna feel weird. You've been with that person, perhaps living together 24/7, sharing habits, sharing a house, some rituals. It's gonna feel weird for them, even though they took the decision. The same way it feels weird for you, it's gonna feel weird for them. Of course, because there's been a lot of pressure, there's been a lot of tension towards, because they had the idea. Before they told you, I want to break up, perhaps for weeks and months, they had this idea and waited the right time, or something triggered them to say like, okay, that's enough. And so immediately after the breakup, they're gonna experience a release phase. So like, yes, I'm finally single. I took the leap of faith and now I'm definitely better. That was the right decision. They had so much on their chest. This is done. And I can move forward because I was obsessed, or I was had this thought in my head of breaking up with my partner. Now it's gone. So I don't have this weight anymore. So that's first few days, about a week or two. After a couple of weeks, what's going to happen is they're going to be surprised that you're not calling, that you're not texting. They potentially, and it's quite often what happens, they will try to get you to react, okay? And they might be thinking in their head like, shit, this is real. I may never see him or her again. And this is extremely powerful if you had something special. And they realize that they might have lost something special, even though, of course, there were things that didn't work. Otherwise, you wouldn't be in that situation. But deep inside, you were someone important in their life. And what happens with space and time, when you start engaging with someone, you start to think about good memories. And you start thinking about the last impression of as well. Our brain filters out bad experiences and keep the good ones. That's what we do when we sleep. We remove the boring stuff. We keep the happy stuff, the one that we need to learn on. And it's the same with time. When you're on your own, when you, have a new experience in life, the experiences you had with the partner is different when you haven't been with that person for a few weeks, sometimes a few months. Think of your past relationships with your different exes. You're not with that person anymore, so I guess it didn't work out. But the intensity or the way you perceive the relationship is way different now than when you guys broke up. Right? It's more nostalgia rather than resentment. It's more fondness more than being indifferent, right? So all these kind of things will automatically, it's mechanical and it works with everyone. And so distance will also create that opportunity for them to reflect. They're on their own, they have this new life, they don't have you, they potentially fear that there's something missing, and they'll be reflecting, what do I want in life? The same way you're doing the same exercise, the same work with yourself right now, watching videos like this. And what they're gonna do, they're gonna put a lot of effort to make this new life succeed. They took that decision, and everyone is like this. When you make a decision, you don't want to be wrong. And so you're gonna try to convince yourself hard to make a lot of effort to make sure that's the right decision. An example is when you go to a store, to a shop, and you buy something, and you come home and you feel like it's never gonna wear it. And then your partner or your friend's like, oh yeah, you bought something useless, and you will try to convince them, no, it's super helpful, or these red boots are, they're gonna fit with a lot of my outfits and stuff like that. But in reality, that's not the case. But you try to convince yourself, you try to convince others that it's the best decision ever. And what you could see, that's why I think it's very dangerous to, it's actually not healthy, but to look at the social media and the signs of your ex after a breakup. The social media is more about anxiety. They're going to be very active in trying to come across as happy, reconnect with friends, they do things they couldn't do before, for example, or partying and traveling, excessive behavior, things that I don't recognize my ex, because they are putting a lot of effort in trying to do something, in trying to say, this new life is amazing. I couldn't go partying with my friends because I was in a relationship, and now I'm going out every single day. But there's some doubts, obviously, and the psychology of that. A quick slide on this. This is what will happen at some stage. Even though they are trying really hard and putting a lot of effort, it's really important. When you're happy, you don't make any effort. Life comes, it's organic. Where I want you to go is to get back with your ex in an organic way. Of course, you're going to work on yourself. There's a lot of self-improvement, but the way you see things, it should be effortless. Otherwise, if you're fighting every single day to be happy, it's gonna feel weird. It's not really natural. That's what they're doing. They're fighting. They're doing something. They try hard. They force themselves. But when you do that, they sort of nurture the sense of doubt because it's something unnatural. They'll be starting to think, did I make the right decision? Does she or he still loves me, or does he or she miss me? You might be thinking the same questions, and you might be thinking, no way they are thinking about that because they took the decision. Always. It's not maybe. Every single person who broke up with their partner, who are getting the no contact treatment, they will think of these questions at some point. I'm not talking about relationships where you dated for 2 weeks. I'm talking about proper relationships. At any time, throughout the no contact, your ex will think about those questions. And they could think about, should I text him or her first? Is he going with someone else? And I wonder what she or he is doing right now. They will always have, at some stage, maybe not every day, they might not be obsessed by those questions, but those thoughts will appear in their head at some stage. Again, take examples of previous relationships that you had in the past. I'm pretty sure that after you broke up with your partner, even though you were not madly in love with them, you had those questions. Oh, I'm curious, what is she up to? What is she doing? Is she dating someone new or stuff like that? You're always curious. And there's these doubts of, I don't know what she's or he's up to. Therefore, I create those scenarios the same way you're creating the scenarios. It works exactly the same for your ex. Now, those questions, as I said, can only appear, can only think about those questions if you had something special. If you didn't mean anything to your ex, they wouldn't care what you're up to, right? And I put together a quiz for you to know if you have a chance to get back with your ex and whether you fall into the category of a recoverable relationship. It's about 20 questions. It's totally free. There's a link in the description. You can take the quiz and you'll see whether that's the case for you. Recoverable relationship statistically is a minority of cases, just so you know. So check whether your relationship would fit those criteria. And this is why action matters. If you had something special, so looking back at the quiz, you will get in touch with your ex. That's guaranteed. That's for sure. If you had something special, if you didn't have something special, then waste of time. Because the pressure and the tension is gone after that no contact. How long is the no contact? We'll debate afterwards. They've experienced, your ex experienced life without you. And now they're in touch with you. This is what they have to think. So, and it's very important. The next slide is super important. If you had something special, at some stage, don't worry, your ex will be in touch with you, or you could be in touch with your ex. Because I've seen that with different cases, I do believe it's okay to break no contact after at least a month, just to test where your ex is. If you break no contact too soon, depending on when you should break no contact, but let's say you break no contact after a month, you send a message, there's no answer or it's very distant, then you have to wait a little bit more. But there's no point going no contact for a year or 2 years. and thinking that, okay, if he or she wants to get back with me, he or she will contact me. In some cases, people are scared to break no contact, even if they are the dumpers. So it's okay to make a first move, but you have to really go through a phase of proper no contact to release the tension, to create that doubt, to create that fear of missing out. Right? And again, this only works if you had something special. If you didn't have anything special between you two, you can try no contact, but it's not, your chances of you getting back with them are minimal. But this is what they have to think when they'll see you, when they hear from you, when they'll ask friends about what you're up to, when they bump into you in the streets. They'll have to be like this. Visualize this. It's so important. You have to visualize your ex doing this when he or she sees you. Or you could be like this. Visualize them. This is what they need to think about. How could I be so stupid to break up with this person? How could I be so stupid to break up with this person? I loved him or her. We had something special. Of course, things didn't work, but now looking at things, looking at how it transformed, how he's attractive or she's attractive because of all the things that he developed in his or her life. How could I be so stupid not to believe in ourselves, not to believe in our relationship, not to believe in him or her? How could I be so stupid? Remember this. This is the thing your ex needs to have in their mind when they see you, when they hear from you. Right? Visualize this every day. Visualize this every day because it will give you the strength to follow through. As you probably know, if you're new, I'm a certified hypnotherapist, and in hypnotherapy we do a lot of visualization. And there's a high value in terms of when you look at visualization and you look at studies about that. Visualize this. Visualize your ex-life. It will give you that strength to follow through, to work hard every day on yourself. I'm very pragmatic. I don't care if what gives you that energy is revenge, is ego. I don't care as long as you move forward. Sometimes it's good to tap into the ego. Silly example, when I run in the park and I see that a 50-year-old woman is running faster than me, I sort of accelerate my pace because I don't want to get beaten by a 50-year-old woman. And that's a bit of ego and pride playing here. It doesn't matter. It helps me run faster. It's exactly the same for you. You know what you had, and they know it too. And they realize that what you had was actually stronger than this idea, this feeling that it's not working out. And so visualize this every day and grow 1% every day, as long as you move forward, as long as you make progress. It is very important. And the 1% every day, if you grow 1% every day, I don't remember the number, but if you do that every day because of the compound interest, it's going to lead you very far. Okay? So improve every single day, just 1%. Just do one tiny action that would help you be in that place when you see your ex and they like. People always want to have I want big results now. What's the shortcut? What's the fastest way for me to get back with my ex? What's the fastest way for me to be happy? What's the fastest way for me to be secure? Unfortunately, that's not how it works. That's why we have counselors and coaches. It's because it's really about the consistent actions that you take every day. Last tip, be obsessed. Rather than being obsessed whether you're going to get back with them, be obsessed by the idea of proving them wrong. Right? If you're obsessed about getting back with them, you're focusing and your energy on the wrong things. You're putting all your headspace on the strategies about communication, about superficial things. No. You have to be obsessed about the fact that you're going to prove them wrong. And that feeling is amazing. When it happens with my clients and they see their ex and they tell me oh, I could see in their eyes, they were like shocked. And when this happens, it is so easy then to get back with an ex. So you put yourself in a situation of control, right? Your change, your learning, your actions. You don't depend on your ex to do those things. It's you and you only. This is what gets an ex back. It's not about letters, it's not about messages. These are just medium. These are just ways to connect with your ex. But this is not what will get you back with your ex, right? So focus on yourself. Do those things. And remember, visualize this or this. It is extremely strong. Tell me if it works for you in the comment section. I'd love to hear about you. And if you have any other question, there's also other links in the description. I'll see you next time.
For a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer.